Hi everybody, I told you I have been book shopping like no other. So today we're doing part 2 of my book shopping book haul. I hope you're ready because there are so many books I cannot wait to tell you about. Let's get started. Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. It's Russell with Ink and Paper Blog. How are you doing today? I hope you guys are doing very, very well. I hope that you have been getting books all through the month of December because it is a great time to buy books for others, but don't forget yourself. Buy yourself a book or 2 or 10, whatever makes you happy. I have a ginormous stack of books to talk to you guys about because, as I said in the first part of my shopping book haul, I have been on a tear. And a lot of these books are new to me because they are books that I really just picked up because other people said one word or another about them. So I'm going to do my best to describe them to you. I may have to read a bit more than I normally do from the blurb, but all of these sound amazing. So get out your pen, get out your paper, get out your Goodreads, get out however you take care of your TBR. If you can do so, please order these books from your local independent bookstore or get your library to order them for you as soon as possible so you can read them with me. So let's get started. No further ado, because this video could take forever. It's a stack. I have seen this book out from Europa editions for a while now, and I have wanted so bad to pick it up. So on Small Business Saturday, I went and picked up The Girl with the Leisha by Helena Janeczek. I'm going to hold that up there because I know I'm butchering that. And it is translated from the Italian by Anne Goldstein. Now, I knew that this book was based on the life it's a fictional account based on the life of a photojournalist, a female photojournalist during the Spanish Civil War, I believe, but I didn't know much more about it. So this is what it says. Gertie Taro was a German Jewish war photographer, anti-fascist activist, artist, and innovator who, together with her partner, the Hungarian Andre Friedman, who later assumed the alias Robert Capa, was widely considered to be one of the early 20th century's greatest war and political photographers. She died while documenting the Spanish Civil War and tragically became the first female photojournalist to be killed on the battlefield. So the book starts on August 1st, 1937, Paris, Taro's 27th birthday and her funeral. Friedman leads the procession. He taught Taro to use Alicia. Together, they left for the Spanish Civil War to bear witness to fascist war crimes. He is devastated, but there are others equally bereft in the procession. Ruth Sharef, Taro's oldest friend from Leipzig, struggled with that for a minute, guys, with whom she fled to Paris. Willie, her ex-lover, George, another lover and a key figure in the international brigades. They have all known a different Gerda, and one who is at times radically at odds with the heroic figure who is being mourned by the multitudes. So, I think this book sounds amazing, and I can't believe it took me so long to get a copy of The Girl with Alicia by Helena Janeczek, translated from the Italian by Anne Goldstein. Anne Goldstein translates a lot of stuff for Europa, and she's freaking brilliant. So you can get your hands on this too. This won the Strega Prize in Italy. So it won a major literary award in Italy. So yeah, I'm super excited about that one. I picked up this book because it won the Reading Women Award Book for Fiction Award for Nonfiction, sorry. And that is Thick and Other Essays by Tressie McMillan Cotton. I do not know a whole lot about this book, but I do know how much Kendra and Autumn raved about it, and that is all I really needed to do. It's also blurbed and highly recommended by Roxane Gay, which is enough to get me to pick up just about anything. And yeah, no, I haven't started it yet, but I'm super excited about this essay collection. I'm having a hard time talking today, guys. Thick and Other Essays by Tressie McMillan Cotton. Isn't that? And this is out from a small press. This is out from the New Press, and I really like them. They have sent me some really great books in the past. So yeah, I have to admit that on Small Business Saturday that this was completely a cover by, because this cover is gorgeous. And this book is called Camilla in October by Mireille Best, translated from the French, I believe, by Stephanie Schrenner. It takes place in the 1950s. It is a young lesbian coming of age story. It's about a young girl in a small town, I believe. I want to say a small town in coastal France. She is coming to terms with her sexuality. She lives with her mom, who has like this group of women that come over coffee and cigarettes and just smoke and chat. Her father, who I believe is a war veteran, has sort of a temper that flares. She has a younger brother that is suffering from, let me remember what it is, seizures. He has seizures. And it says he's a construction worker, a lost soul who suffers from seizures. And then she winds up getting into a relationship with the wife of the local dentist, and sort of her world opens up before her. I'm always looking for a young coming of age story. I love coming of age stories about young gay people, queer people that are coming to terms with who they are, that focus really on just their own sense of self-identity. And can we just again take a moment? This cover is gorgeous. Good job. Who is this? Norton? No, this is Seagull Books. Seagull Books. Look at that. So this is Camilla in October by Mireille Best, translated from the French by Stephanie Schreiner. And it says, "My father is dead. I just killed him." I read the blurb. I did not read that part. So let's... okay. I almost started reading the book, guys. What would the good of that do? Pick this up. Does that not sound fantastic? Sounds so good. Okay, this is a nonfiction book that I also picked up that has been a little bit everywhere, but I have heard nothing but rave reviews for Know My Name, a memoir by Chanel Miller. Now, Chanel Miller is the young woman who was originally known as Emily Doe, and she wrote the letter in response to the sentence that was given to her attacker and the rapist who took advantage of her, Brock Turner, when he got that really ridiculous sentence for what he did to her. She wrote a letter anonymously, and this is her memoir in response. It's a few years later, and I have heard nothing but phenomenal things about this book. So that's Know My Name, a memoir by Chanel Miller, out from Viking Books. Okay, I told you, I'm only halfway through, and I just knocked over a whole stack of books, but luckily, they're not the ones we're going to be talking about in this video. I did not buy this book. It was actually sent to me very nicely by Tu, who is on Bookstagram, and I will try to link her Bookstagram below. I met her through Jacqueline of 6 Minutes to Me, who I finally got to meet in person because she came to the Bay Area when Sarah of Hardcover Hearts put together a little booktube thing. Yeah, it was lovely. And she sent me an extra copy of Lot, which is a collection of short stories by Bryan Washington. Jacqueline has raved about this collection because I believe he is also from Houston, where she's from. And he is a young, queer black man, and I've heard these stories are phenomenal. And I think that it just won an award, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember exactly, but I am super excited. I want to thank Tu so much for sending me a copy. And this is Lot Stories by Bryan Washington. I don't need much more than that. I think if you're a short story person and Jacqueline tells you to read it, you should read it, because that's what I do. Jacqueline tells me to read things, and she's brilliant. A book that I'm not going to talk a whole bunch about. I finally got myself a copy of Call Me By Your Name by Andre Aciman. I have never read it. I know that a lot of people have. A lot of people have raved about it. So I definitely had to get myself a copy. I plan on reading it sooner rather than later. This book was on a bunch of shelves, and I don't know why. I am fascinated by stories that dive into the dynamics of marriage. And this is Listen to the Marriage by John J. Osborn. And I actually, for some reason, am adoring this little copy from Picador. Just so cute. It says, Sandy Hyland, a marriage counselor, thinks there is 1 in 1,000 chance of saving Steve and Gretchen's marriage. Living in San Francisco, love a book that's local. With 2 children and demanding jobs, they're recently separated. Steve had an affair. Gretchen is in love with someone else. But what if, against all odds, they could make it work? So I love all the things that I just said. I love a book that focuses on a marriage fractured, bringing it back together. Maybe it doesn't come back together. Maybe it stays apart, but we learn about ourselves. Obsessed. So this is Listen to the Marriage by John J. Osborn, and this little version from Picador is adorable. Okay. Next, I think I remember that my friend Chris at Chris Bookish Cauldron loved Mostly Dead Things by Kristen Arnett. Now, I have to say, I believe it was the second, East Bay Booksellers was the second bookstore I went to when I went to Small Business Saturday, and I went a little bit lesbian literature happy. Almost all of the books that I bought were about or by lesbians because they just all sounded so amazing. All I know about Mostly Dead Things is I know that it has to do with taxidermy, and I don't know much more about that other than Chris said to read it, and that is usually enough for me. One morning, Jessica Lynn Morton walks into the family taxidermy shop to find that her father has committed suicide. Well, that's sad. Right there on one of the metal tables. Shocked and grieving, Jessa steps up to manage the failing business while the rest of the Morton family crumbles. Her mother starts sneaking into the shop to make aggressively lewd art with the taxidermy animals. Her brother, Milo, withdraws, struggling to function. And Bryn, Milo's wife, and the only person Jessa's ever been in love with, that's not going to be good, walks out without a word. As Jessa seeks out less than legal ways to generate income, her mother's art escalates. Picture a figure of her dead husband and a stuffed buffalo in an uncomfortable sexual pose, and the Mortons reach a tipping point. For the first time, Jessa has no choice but to learn who these people truly are and ultimately how she fits in alongside them. So, Mostly Dead Things by Kristen Arnett. I've heard nothing but rave reviews and I'm super excited for it. Okay. This book came out of nowhere. East Bay Booksellers had it sort of face fronting, and I just thought it was beautiful. And this is Tovar's Mother India, and it is from Syracuse University Press, which I think this may be the first book I have ever bought from that press. And part of the reason I even picked it up is because it has a blurb from Cynthia Ozick on the cover. I'm going to hold that up there for you. And I think Cynthia Ozick is a deeply, tragically underread writer in America. She is brilliant. If you want to take a moment to read her short story, The Shawl, it will break your heart. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about Tovar's Mother India. So I just literally picked it up for those reasons. Cynthia Ozick, cover, Syracuse Press. But then it says here, it says, Mother India is a brilliant original novel that about Jews who go to India to find transformation and internal release from the suffering of life. Narrated in luminous prose by Mina, a Jewish-American lesbian who has claimed India as her home, the novel is vividly populated by the darkly comic universe of 3 generations of women, along with other family members, as well as by the Indians whose world they seek to penetrate. There is Mina's religiously observant mother, Ma, whose desire to remove herself from the wheel of life plays out in the Faulknerian funeral procession and cremation on the banks of the holy river Ganges. Mina's daughter, Maya, a misunderstood child coming to age in an emotionally treacherous household. Her ex-wife, Gita, a privileged and hedonistic Indian woman who enters their world with devastating consequences. Mina's twin brother, Shmekel, I'm saying that wrong, I apologize, a charismatic rabbi turned guru and international fugitive, and the Indian servant Manika, whose loyalty to the family both sustains and shackles them. I thought that sounded so good. So that is Tovar's Mother India from Syracuse University Press. I support these local presses, especially the ones from the universities. They do great work. So I'm super excited about that. 2 more books. One I'm going to tell you about, one I'm going to hold up. So I'm going to tell you about On Swift Horses, a novel by Shannon Puffle. I'm going to hold her last name up there as well. She is actually local. She teaches at Stanford, I want to say. I know she lives in Monterey. Yes, she teaches creative writing at Stanford. I got this at East Bay Booksellers, and it was beautifully signed. And I believe that Shelf by Shelf on Instagram raved about this book. But again, you're going to find a common theme because it's another lesbian narrative. So in the burgeoning post-war West, two outsiders are torn between the constraints of convention and the demands of their private selves. Mireille is a newly transplanted from her rural Kansas hometown to a life in the dusty rental in San Diego, where her husband has his eye on the suburban homestead in the nearby Mission Valley. Restless within her new marriage, Mireille misses her late mother, a free-thinking divorcee, and her prodigal brother-in-law, Julius, a charismatic card sharp who made the world feel expansive in ways she's only dimly understood. Waiting tables at a horseman's lounge, Mireille gets a second-hand education in racing and risk, until one day she sneaks off to the track and wins enough to embolden larger dreams. Hundreds of miles away, Julius is testing his fate in Las Vegas, spotting scams at a casino where tourists watch atomic tests from the roof. The job offers stability and an unexpected romance with Henry, a young card cheat. But when bad luck befalls Henry, Julius heads south to search for him in the plazas and dives of Tijuana, trading one city of dangerous illusions for another. That sounds really good. This is out from Riverhead. I heard Shannon speak at Book Expo America this year. This was one of their debut novels that was sort of highlighted. So that's On Swift Horses by Shannon Puffa. I'm saying that wrong, Shannon. I'm so sorry. And this is out from Riverhead Books. And I have to say, this has got a nice texture feel to it. I could sit here and play with it, but I'm not going to. The last book I'm not going to tell you anything about, but I dove onto the train because everyone that I know that has read this book has said it is just as fun as expected. And that is The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. I have a arc of this, but I went ahead and bought myself a copy. The arc, there was a font issue. I could not read it, so I'm hoping that this is better, and I think it is. But look at how beautiful oh, it's so pretty. Yeah, no more. I'm not going to say anything because we all know about The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern, but I just bought this copy when I was out to dinner with my friend Ryan at the Charming Rant. Find him on Twitter. He's brilliant. And his boyfriend, Paul, Dan and I went to dinner with him and had a great time. We stopped at a local little bookstore, Books Inc. in Campbell, and had a great little time doing some shopping, and I picked that up. So I cannot pick up that entire stack of books and do this like I normally do, so imagine they are all right here. But as always, if you are a return subscriber, know that I could not do this without you. If you are new, if you are new to my channel, I ask that you subscribe, come back, let's talk about books. Let's comment in the box below, and I will talk to you until your ears fall off. As always, I encourage you to shop locally, read globally, and until next time, happy reading. I'll talk to you soon.